This is the Scratch story, video number 1. In this video, we're going to show how we can create our backdrops and add our text for our story. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete my sprite because at this point I don't need him. And I'm going to go into my backdrops, and you'll see I currently just have one backdrop. So I'm going to add backdrops for each page in my story. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a backdrop from the library, and I'm going to just choose a very simple backdrop for my first scene. Once I have the backdrop chosen, I can click OK. So now I'm going to start putting text on my page. So I want to make sure that I am in vector mode down here. If I'm not in vector mode, I'm going to convert to vector mode. This is important because if I'm not in vector mode, I will not be able to edit my text if I make a mistake. So I'm going to click on the T tool and click towards the bottom of my page. And I just have a simple story that I'm going to put in here. So I'm going to put there once was a cat and a dog who, and I'm running out of room, so I'm going to hit enter, were best friends, period. Notice I'm using capital letter at the beginning, period at the end of my sentence. So that is my first scene. So now I can add my additional scenes. So I'm going to go ahead and choose another backdrop. So I can choose the same backdrop if my scene hasn't changed, or I can choose a different backdrop. So I'm going to choose a different backdrop. So I'm going to click OK. Alright, so once again I want to be in vector mode. So you'll notice this one says bitmap mode, so I'm going to convert to vector. Then I'm going to click on my T tool, and I'm going to type in my story, next story page. When you're in vector mode, sometimes the typing is a little bit slow. So I took my time and got my text added into my page. Now I can go ahead and add my additional scenes and my additional text. So I'm going to go ahead and choose some additional scenes. Let's see. I'll choose this one. And then I can choose my next one. I'm just going to go ahead and get my backdrops added in here. And then I'm going to click on them, and if they're not in vector mode, I'm going to convert them to vector mode, and I'm going to go ahead and put in my text for each scene. Now I have all of my text put on my backdrops. So I can come up here to the top and get rid of this white backdrop with this little X because I don't need that backdrop. And then I'm just going to make sure that my scenes are in order. So for any reason they're out of order, I can move them to the correct order. Then I'm ready to put my script on that's going to move me from scene to scene when I hit my space bar. So I'm going to click on my scripts, and I'm going to go to my events, and I'm going to say when my space key is pressed, I want to go to the next backdrop. And I also want to make sure that when my flag is clicked, that I go to my first backdrop. So I'm going to go back to my backdrops, and Blue Sky 3 is my first backdrop. So I want to make sure that Blue Sky 3 is what I'm going to select when my flag is clicked. So when I hit my space key, it will move me through my scenes. And if I ever want to go back to the beginning, I hit my green flag, and it will bring me to my first page. And that's how we get our backdrops in our story text. In the next video, we'll learn how to add our characters.